Can you just talk a little bit about being a kid here in Philippines, growing up here, and how you got started in motorsport?
Yeah, I guess it's quite cool because literally where we had the event here for the road show, I grew up actually 10 minutes down the road on Manila Bay in a nice little flat with my parents, and it's just been yeah, it seems so far at the time because when I was growing up I really knew nothing about motorsport, and it was actually my father who got me into racing. He started racing go-karts here in the Philippines as a hobby, basically. I think he had a deal with his buddy and they were having a couple drinks, and basically he said, whatever you're gonna do, I'll do it too, and they decided on go-karts, and I guess the rest is history because the minute they put me in one, I was hooked and I wanted to be a racing driver.
How did you make the break to Europe? At what stage of your life did you start coming to Europe?
I came as a teenager to Europe. I was about 16 or 17. The first championship I ever entered in Europe was actually the 2-liter Formula Renault UK Championship. I think it was in 2009. And I did my first full European or British campaign then.
And your dad's Swiss,
yes.
But let's just talk a little bit about that. He lives and works in the Philippines and has done all your life, right?
Yeah, I mean, he came to the Philippines about 23, 24 years ago, and he stayed here ever since, you know. So at this point, you can even call him a Filipino. He's been here the rest of his life, and all my family, most of my family are based here. And yeah, it's been quite nice.
For a Filipino to have mixed parents in terms of race is not unusual.
No, it seems like there's more and more of us hybrids in a way. But it's simply because we have a lot of overseas Filipino workers who actually leave the country and are working, and of course they settle in the new countries that they go into, whether it's in Europe, whether it's other parts of Asia. So it's not strange to have that, but also I think it's something that people here, at least even the locals themselves, they accept you. I mean, if they know you're born here, you're raised here, to them you're a Filipino. So we're all really nice in that way, in that sense of our culture.
And you've always raced and felt as a Filipino?
Yes, I've always had the Philippine flag on my suit, on my helmet. I wear the flag very proudly, and I'm very proud to represent the country.
And what languages do you speak?
For sure Tagalog, the national language of the Philippines, and English, of course, because I grew up in a house where we all spoke English. It was just easier for my mother and father. And I'd like to think I like to speak Italian or French, and of course Swiss German and German, but this is just the little bits just to get by in Europe, you know, the necessities, of course, in ordering food or stuff like this.
Now it's a brilliant thing that A, you have the Lotus F1 deal, and B, that they're here starting to look at the potential of the Philippines. You know the country well, you know the economy. Can they do it? Can they come up with a budget that would enable you to do what you need to do?
I hope we've raised enough awareness after this event. Of course, it's the first time. I mean, we're a very new country in terms of, you know, building our modern day motorsport image. But we've always been very much a part of motorsport even since the beginning. I mean, we've had greats like Dodgy Laurel, who won the Macau Grand Prix twice and was actually, I think, on his way to win his third, but unfortunately died, and actually driven a Lotus car at the time as well. So we have a history of motorsport. I just think we never got the chance. So hopefully this road show, this event, the Lotus F1 team getting behind me and coming here to the Philippines all the way across Europe to support me, hopefully it shows to the people that it just takes only a little bit more. I mean, I think the door's been as wide open as ever, as it has been in our history of motorsport, so hopefully we can capitalize on it.
And there's already been one Filipino who's made it on the world stage, and that's Manny.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about him and the influence he's had on the Philippine culture, perhaps, certainly the Philippine character and feel for sport, global sport, and indeed boxing is part of your workout regime anyway.
Yeah, no, definitely Manny Pacquiao is he's a hero of mine, of course, in sport. I think a hero to all of the Philippines, and I think what he did for our country definitely proved to everyone that it doesn't matter from what island you're from, what part of the world you're from, you can make it anywhere, and Manny basically proved that by by reaching the top of boxing. So he's very much an idol of mine. I look up to him, and the way he handles all that pressure. He goes into the ring literally smiling, and I think that's something about Filipino culture that you notice, is that we're very hospitable, we're very welcoming, and Manny just wears that perfectly on his face, and he's really done a lot for our country in terms of sport, and I hope to one day achieve the same.
And maybe to get Manny to an F1 race, or indeed a World Series race.
Hopefully. I mean, I was hopefully expecting maybe Manny would have been nice to come here and see an F1 car, but definitely also one of my dreams is to watch him in a box fight. You know, it would be really great to see him in a match up against Marquez, hopefully once again. But definitely, Manny's a great hero for us in the Philippines.